Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom, Cantor, Peicott.
Shabbat shalom, Rabbi Nanus. How are you?
I'm okay. It's been quite a week for us, for the Jewish people, for Israel, for Jews all over the world. But as we know, even in our worst times, we are commanded on Shabbat to take a breath, take a moment, step back, I was talking about self-care. I think Shabbat is actually God's way of giving us self-care,
Amen.
giving us a moment to, and I know that you are going to open with a beautiful song to help us get into the spirit and mood of Shabbat this evening.
So these are words taken from the psalmist, Psalm 51. Even though we've had a very crazy week filled with so much loss and so much tragedy, so much anger, so much confusion, we ask God to create a pure spirit in each of us on this Shabbat. Create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Create a pure heart in me. Create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Create a pure heart in me, and renew a true song within me, and renew a true soul within, and renew a true song within me, and renew a true soul within. Create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Create a pure heart in me. Create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Create a pure heart in me, and renew a true soul within me, and renew a true soul within, and renew a true soul within me, and renew a true soul within. Create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Create a pure heart in me. Create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Create a pure heart in me. We're going to begin our Shabbat together by welcoming our B'nai Mitzvah families to join us in the lighting of our Shabbat candles, saying our Kiddush and our Motzi. We have a whole lot of B'nai Mitzvah happening this weekend at Wilshire Boulevard Temple, but we have with us some very special B'nai Mitzvah. Here they come. We have Lucy and Rocco and Hannah and their families. Hi guys, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So I asked you guys this earlier, and hopefully maybe we thought about it a little bit, but I had said, what are you most excited about for tomorrow? The answer was food you had given me, but maybe it's changed a little bit. What are you most excited for tomorrow? Anybody?
Part of the
Beautiful. I love it. What about you, Lucy?
Probably seeing like some of my cousins. Family.
Awesome. Awesome. Rocco, same thing?
Still.
Okay, well, we're going to invite you and all of our virtual community to join in the lighting of our Shabbat candles. There's always the moment of truth to see if this will work outdoors. And God said, let there be light. We bring in that light of Shabbat 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to grab our Kiddush cup and sanctify this holy time of self-care that we have together Shabbat each and every week. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zeichel yitziat mitzrayim ki banu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. Last but not least, we have our beautiful challah. Let's see what you guys are working with. Are they homemade or store-bought? Either is okay. Those are gorgeous. Store-bought. Good. A woman after my own heart. So we're going to join together in saying our motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'tei avon, Shabbat shalom to our families.
Let me see you eat some challah.
You got to enjoy the challah. Lucy, Rocco, and Hannah, we are so proud of everything that you have accomplished. Tomorrow is just the little cherry on top of the Sunday that has already been this incredible experience for you and your family. So mazal tov in advance. Congratulations. We're so proud of you, and we can't wait to see all of the amazing things that you will continue to do on your next step of your Jewish journey as B'nai Mitzvah. So have a great Friday night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Mazel tov, Shabbat shalom.
I love being able to have families. It's so fun. So we're going to continue to welcome in Shabbat by welcoming those Shabbat angels to join our virtual communities. We say, come, angels, come and bless us. And then we say goodbye. The words of Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Li Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We can't hear you.
So the reason I mute myself when the cantor is singing is because I like to sing along, and you don't want to hear me, but I sing along with all of her music, so I end up muting myself. And as I was saying, we really need the angels of peace this week, and we also need the bride, the queen of Shabbat, to lift our spirits, to bring us love and comfort and joy on this Shabbat. And so, of course, we love to sing and rejoice with Lecha Dodi, come my beloved, let us come and greet the Shabbat bride.
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. לשם ותפארת ולתהילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת
Now that we've welcomed Shabbat into our hearts, our souls, our beings with that beautiful Lecha Dodi from the Cantor, we are ready to begin our Mariv service, to begin with the Baruch Hu. Before we do, I would like to read something from our beautiful Siddur that we don't get to use that much anymore, and hopefully when we're together we will, but I've always loved this poem. There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nivarech, let us bless. And if you'd like to rise for the Baruch Hu, please do now.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai. now that we've had a moment to come together for our Baruch Hu, we're all going to take a nice deep breath as we prepare to recite the Shema. This week, I think of all Shabbat that we've had together, with everything that we've seen around the world and in Israel, that this is the text that unites all of us. As Jews all around the world, we unite with the words of the Shema. So we take a nice deep breath. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. We join together in the chanting of the Ve'ahavta. Our commandment of how we show love to God is through our actions towards one another. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Sing the song of men and women. Join in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generation to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. This is an introduction to the Micha Mocha, which was written 3,200 years ago, 1200 BCE. And we see that for centuries, millennia, people have yearned and longed for peace. And even though it's a song of victory, it's a song of gratitude that peace is finally at hand. The Micha Mocha.
Yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 mi chamocha bailim Adonai mi chamocha nedar bakodesh nora tehilot osefele osefele מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זיזיני, אנו ויאמרו,
This week, more than ever, the Hashkivenu is so relevant as we ask God to create a shelter of peace over all of us, but especially over the people of Israel, to guard them as they lie down and when they rise up, that they may have once again the gift, the beautiful gift of peace. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu makenu l'chayim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen, 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 amen,
The Amida is a prayer where we ask God to bless us and grant us many different kinds of blessings for the sakes of our ancestors, our patriarchs and matriarchs. We mention them by name: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. But I always think, don't we have ancestors closer than 4,000 years ago for whose sake we could be blessed? Aren't there people in our own families, our grandparents, our parents, people that we love, that are such beautiful examples, who are blessings to us, and for whose sakes we can be blessed? So when we pray the Amida tonight, I ask you to have in mind someone closer to home, someone in your own life who is a blessing, as we ask God to bless us for their sakes. The Amida.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chazdei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'Ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen. Baruch ata Adonai, Magin Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol ata, Rav lehoshia. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
We now take a moment for silent reflection and meditation. We're going to change the order of our service a little bit this evening and now continue with the Misha Berach prayer, a prayer where we remember those in our lives who need blessings of healing, physical healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing. So if there is someone who needs this blessing, please say their names out loud now so that their souls may benefit and we may benefit as we hear Cantor Lisa chant the Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekol HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekol HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Before we continue, I'm going to read the names of those who are posted in our chat. We send a Misha Berach to Bill Pullen, Tracy Miller Murphy, Alan Schlossberg, Dan Weir, Barbara Trazon, Beverly Gantz, Alan Schlossberg, Rabbi Bonnie Koppel and Debbie Simmons, Muriel Blankfort, Karen Ludwig, Faith Gomberg. Wait, I lost my place because we keep moving. Oh, Paulette Hawkins, Nancy Radin, Helen Mayer. May they all, Hazel Greenstein. May they all have a refuah shlema. Ron Lanitsky or Lanitsky, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, as well. We wish you all a refuah shlema. So Lisa, we can't not talk about Israel. As I said in my Shabbat message this afternoon, we have to talk about Israel. But what can we say? I will say this. I first went to Israel in 1969, before you were born. I was a sophomore in college, and I didn't realize at the time, but Israel was only 21 years old.
Yeah.
And it was so poor. It was so poor. It took 3 years to get a telephone. Nobody had a car. That was like an unheard of luxury. And no woman or man, but it was women, had washing machines. And so they washed their clothes in their bathtubs and hung them out on the line. There was one supermarket in the whole country and no department stores. And when you think of Israel now, you think of this and no phones, and now it has more probably cell phones than any country in the world. I mean, they invented telephone. And people were on a high because it was after the 6-day war, and they thought there was going to be peace. And then they were so disappointed, of course, when the Yom Kippur War came in 1973, and then after that, many more wars. But what I wanted to share with you, and we want to share with everyone, is I was telling Lisa about a book that came out in 1975 called My Shalom, My Peace. And it was a collection of poetry by Jewish and Muslim children longing for peace. And we reflected that these children today are in their 60s and 70s, and they're still waiting for peace. But I wanted you to hear some of their thoughts and their poetry. And there's not one older than 15. Many of them are 10, 11, and 12. And what they thought and what they dreamed of all the way back in 1975. So I'm going to start with a poem by Tamar Sharon, who was 9 and a half. When peace will come to be, down the pathways we will run, among the grass in the orchard, Mohammed and me. I'm already getting emotional. When peace will come, I'll give my hand to Muhammad. To the Jordan we will go, together sing and hum. When peace will be on every side, arm in arm shall we go. The two of us hiking all over, on up to Jerusalem we'll take a ride. When peace will come and fighting ends, we shall walk then holding hands as far as Gilead, two happy friends. And the name of this poem is Muhammad and Me, by a 9-year-old girl in 1975, which breaks your heart. Here's another one this is by Muhammad Abu Raj, who's 12. When will peace take over? When will it come, the day? When with armies and bombs will they do away? When all this hostility cease, a day on which battleships will become palaces of leisure and fun, floating on the seas. A day in which the steel of guns will be melted into pleasure cars. A day in which generals will begin to raise flowers. When peace will include all the peoples of these neighboring lands. When Ishmael and Israel will go hand in hand. And when every Jew the Arab's brother will be. When will it come, the day? 12 years old, a Muslim boy in 1975. So I think Lisa has a song that will reflect that feeling of shalom and salam.
Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Ojabo shalom aleinu, Ojabo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Ojabo shalom aleinu, Ojabo shalom aleinu, Ojabo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Ojabo shalom aleinu, Ojabo shalom aleinu, Ojabo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam.
This is a poem by a girl named Tali, 13 years old. I had a paint box, each color glowing with delight. I had a paint box with colors, warm and cool and bright. I had no red for wounds and blood. I had no black for orphan child. I had no white for the face of the dead. I had no yellow for burning sands. I had orange for joy and life. I had green for buds and blooms. I had blue for clear, bright skies. I had pink for dreams and rest. I sat down and I painted peace. In 1975, Dreaming of Peace. Here is one by I read that one. I'm sorry, I have another one. Just a second. I picked the one. Okay. This is by Gasub Serhan, a Muslim boy who's 14. In my dream, O mother mine, I saw an angel with wings pure white, breaking the rifles one by one, shattering to pieces each gun, which then into the fire he dashes and turns into smoldering ashes. In my dream, O mother mine, I saw an angel with wings pure white, lifting Moses and Muhammad up to the skies and demanding that they shake hands and be wise. I heard his voice thunder and echo after them. Quick, make haste, O sons of Shem. Behold, he is coming, the herald of peace, singing a song of praise to peace. These poems could have been written last week. You know, I mean, it's the children are speaking their longings, and I think children in Israel and in, I have to say, in the Palestinian territories are having the same dreams, the same wish to have peace, to have connection. And I have read on Facebook, actually, of Druze and Muslims and Israeli Jews actually getting together right now during this bombardment and giving each other flowers and embracing and saying that this is not what we want. We don't, and the post said, you won't read this in any of the newscasts, but this is also going on in Israel. So I want to just read one more. This is a prayer from a girl named Shlomit. She's 13 in Jerusalem. What shall I ask you for, God? I have everything. There's nothing I lack. I only ask for one thing and not for myself alone. It's for many mothers and children and fathers, not just in this land, but in many lands hostile to each other. I'd like to ask for peace. Yes, it's peace I want. And you, God, you won't deny the single wish of a girl. You created the land of peace, where stands the city of peace, where stood the temple of peace, but where still there is no peace. What shall I ask you for, God? I have everything. Peace is what I ask for. Only peace. So how do we comfort these children, Lisa? How do we I see you're very moved by this. And
You're right. It could have been written this morning. And
right.
it just, as an American Jew, I feel helpless.
Yes. And
I
so
feel like I can offer prayers and I can offer song and I can offer support. But when I think of the children who are suffering because of adults, when I think of that, it just breaks my heart. They don't ask for this. They don't vote in elections, but there's a baby Joey's age, on whichever side you want to imagine. But there is a baby Joey's age that is having to live through this nightmare, and their nightmare babies. Every single day. Yeah, and it's just all we can do is offer comfort and look to our tradition. Words of comfort to come together as one community, a community of Jews, a community of humans, to offer our love and support for any loss of life, loss of innocence, and loss of what they probably feel is the future.
Yes, and so we look to our tradition and our prophets for a song of comfort that I hope you will share with us. Nachamu, Nachamu, be comforted.
Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem. 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 Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem.
And with these words of comfort in our heart and our thoughts of Israel, we are now going to do the prayer for Israel. The Cantor will sing it and then read it to us all. A prayer for Israel.
Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo. Amen.
The screen with the Cantor, because we are going to talk about what's coming up for Shavuot, and she is a big part of that. So if you could share the screen with us. Yes. So we have a huge Shavuot starts on Sunday evening with a very beautiful concert. You want to tell us about that?
Sure. So Sunday evening, May 16th, we are kicking off our Erev Shavuot with the concert of Shuvi Nafshi. Wilshire Boulevard Temple has joined with 4 other communities to create a musical lifting of your soul so that you are ready to receive that Torah, you are ready to study. So that concert will be 6:30 to, let's say, 7:30 p.m. at night. And then we have basically an all-night Torah study for those who want to participate. We've teamed up with Jewish Los Angeles, different congregations, as well as Jewish organizations around LA for both an online Tikkun LeShavuot, and for those who are really craving that in-person learning experience, Temple Beth Am is hosting in-person learning. They have a beautiful grass area where they're doing socially distanced and COVID-safe learning, but together as one community so that we can all learn and receive Torah at the same time. Rabbi Susan Nanus is going to be teaching at Beth Am at 9 p.m. on Sunday, May 16th. She's going to have lots of coffee before that. And... And Rabbi Eshel is doing an online Zoom session at 8:30 p.m. And then Rabbi Nickerson will be doing an online Zoom session at 9:30 p.m. And the sessions go all the way to 5 o'clock in the morning for those who are so excited to study and to receive that Torah at Mount Sinai. Shavuot is a holiday that celebrates learning and divine revelation and our connection to Torah. So I hope that you can all join us starting at 6:30 p.m. for Shuvi Nafshi, a cantorial concert to lift your soul during a crazy time.
So that evening is called Tikkun Leil Shavuot, which means the repair of Shavuot evening. Do you know the Midrash? Because I know I want to just plug Cantor Peicott is teaching Midrash in Merlot next Thursday at 7 o'clock. But do you know what the Midrash is of why we have to repair Shavuot evening?
I have a guess, but I want to hear it from you.
So according to the Kabbalists, the Israelites overslept on the day that they were supposed to receive the Torah. So we stay up all night to repair their sleeping in, their laziness, to show we are really eager to accept Torah. So I don't know where they decided the Israelites overslept, but that's why it's called the repair of Shavuot.
We were late to the game. We were late to line up to receive Torah.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And so anyway, the Cantor is a big lover of Midrash, and she'll be doing her second session next Thursday at 7 p.m. And this Tuesday is our second session with Dr. Gary Schiller on medical ethics, and it was fascinating. I really encourage you to join us. We may even have another extra session, because we were really talking about the sanctity of life and when do you take a life and when do you save a life. And he's got some fascinating discussion topics. It's a discussion. And I just want to plug one more very important program, which will be Monday night, May 24th, which is the 1-year anniversary of the death of George Floyd. We're doing an incredible program with 3 really prominent African Americans on the topic of 1 year after the death of George Floyd, where are we now? And one of them is Robin Washington, who is a Jew of color. He's a Black Jew, who is also the editor at large of The Forward. So he's a very thoughtful journalist. And the other 2, one is Dr. I can't think of their names right now. Oh, here they are. Dr. Erica Holmes, who's a psychologist and the head of the Trauma Center at Faithful Central Bible Church, and Dr. Bruce Haynes, who is a professor of sociology and African American history and ethnography, and he's at UC Davis. And Robin Washington is in Minnesota, Duluth, Minnesota. So we have somebody from Minnesota, from Davis, California, and from LA. So please join us for that. It's going to be very compelling. And now it's time to turn our thoughts to those who are no longer with us, to those who have passed away, as we prepare to remember people who have died and prepare for our Kaddish prayer. We begin with those who passed away during Shloshim, the last 30 days.
Eli Brode, Lely Cordova, Carolyn Tamar Davidson, Rabbi Morley Feinstein, Len Foreman, Robert Gordon, Marjorie Gould, Louis Lowy, Louis Gerald Miller, Carol Grace Salinas, Norma Joy Siegel, David Wolfe, Dorothy Wright. We also remember those whose yortzites occurred during this past week, the anniversaries of their deaths. James Leo Barbanel, Grace Barkin, Evelyn Becker, William Barrelson, Lillian Berman, Rose Blatt, Sarah Buch, Ralph Cohen, Lloyd Kotzen, Musa David, Herbert Denitz, Betsy Dreisen, Burton Allen Eisenberg, Mary Epstein, Edith Falk, Anella Feldstein, Charlotte Fenning, Louis Fine, Etta Fisher, Susan Pastor Fishman, Alvin Friedman, Jacqueline Furman, Louis Garr, Marlene Gelt, Billy Goldberg, Michelle Joy Gomberg, Evelyn Gordon, Jules Green, Tony Greenberg, Alberto Grimberg, Marvin Gussman, Ben Habibi, John Heald, Werner Heinemann, Magda Hoffman, Itamar Ilya, Clarence Jacobson, Paul Jaspin, Alberta Shield Kalish, Theodore Kapnick Jr., Jess Katz, Louis King, Joy Koppelson, Rose Krantz, Jack Crevoy, Harold Lederer, Milton Liebhaber, Philip Mann, Harry Mankoff, Jack Morris, Alan Moskowitz, Murray Edward Moss, Philip Nalabatsky, Stella Nayberger, Larry Nix, Leah Pazel, Rose Reiser, Harris Robinson, Harry Samuel Ralston, Sam Rosen, Frida Rosenberg, Larry Rosenblum, Solomon Rossman, Helen Rao, Joseph Rudin, Leonid Rudyak, Eva Schenk, Robert Schlossberg, Benjamin Schwartz, Caroline Schwartz, Meyer Schwartz, Pearl Siegel, Pamela Schulman, Morris Siegel, Robert Siegel, Jerry Sinclair, William Troy, Sam Tucker, Rose Vitoff, David Walder, Tom Wallach, Mark Weissman, Sarah Wharton, Leah Wurzel, Michael Zuckerman. We also remember those who gave their lives defending the United States of America and the State of Israel, those who have died in the terrible violence in Israel and around the world, those who have died from terrorism illness, and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. We take them all as our own. You may rise now if you would like.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. V'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayei uv'yomei chon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach li'olam umei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudashah b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata dami ran b'yalma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shamaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. We will now sing Oseh Shalom with Cantor Peicott.
We conclude our service this evening with a prayer for peace. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat
Shalom,
Shalom,
everyone.
May you have a Shabbat of peace. Shabbat Shalom, Cantor.
Shabbat shalom. Early Chag Sameach to everyone.